Hello, Algebra Honors. We are ready for Unit 1, Lesson 2. Okay, so this is adding and subtracting polynomials. The standard for this is you can add and subtract polynomials. So it's a continuation of Lesson 1, but instead of addition, we're subtracting. So obviously there's some things to keep in mind when you have the minus in between. I'm not going to read all this to you because I know that you are able to read all that. But this is the piece that most important with the subtraction, is that when there's a minus in between two polynomials, remember in this case, this is a binomial minus a trinomial, that you always have to distribute that negative. Okay, so I gave you an example of a horizontal method, right, in the first part for that problem, where we distribute the negative, changes all the signs, and then you combine like terms. And then I gave you an example of the vertical method. Same problem, right? Where you come here and you distribute the negative, right? Changing all the signs, and then you combine like terms. Okay, so horizontal and vertical. So we're going to do a mix of the two. I don't know why I'm just by nature just like a horizontal. I just rewrite it. I don't bother lining them up. I just distribute. But you can do what's most comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be one way or the other. Just make sure that you distribute that negative and it's correct. All right, so for the first one here, when I simplify this polynomial minus this other polynomial, I'm going to drop the parentheses of this first one. And I'm going to distribute the negative of the next one. You can tell them at school because you can hear the buzzer. It's the end of the first period. Okay, so I have changed the signs of each of them, and then I'm going to do what you've seen me do in class already, is I'm going to take the highest exponent, which is the degree of 3, and I'm going to underline, I'm going to say I've got 1 minus 3x is negative 2x cubed. And then I'm going to look for the x squareds, and I'm going to say 3 plus 8 is 11 x to the second, and I cross out as I combine, and then I got a 5 and a 5x, and that's going to be a 10x, cross out, and then I got what's left is a negative 4 and a negative 6. I'm just going to combine them, and that's going to be negative 10. And then I'm done. And that's it. Okay, go to the next page. So, example 3. Let me show you. Let's do a fall color. Let's do orange. Okay, so where it says subtract this from that, remember when it's written that way, that means that you actually start with that 3x cubed minus x squared plus 8. So that's going to be, I'm going to do vertical method, by the way. That's going to be on top, okay? And then I'm going to start with my parentheses, and I notice, and actually, you know what? When I say vertical method, I think this may be why I don't do it, because I forget about the spaces. There's no x, right? So there's an x cubed and x squared, and then there's no x value. It's a 0x. So I leave the space there, and then I'm going to bring this one down. Remember, this is because I'm subtracting that x cubed plus 5x squared plus 4x minus 7 from the other one. So this comes second. And I'm going to line them up. Okay? And I've got that minus that goes on the outside. And look what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a plus 0x. If you want to do that, you can. Because when you line them up, then they all have, there's an x cubed, an x squared, an x, and then the constant. So I'm going to, there's two ways we can do this. You can do a rewrite if you choose. Okay, where when I distribute that negative, see it? I'm changing every sign. like that, right? So this x cubes become negative, the 5x becomes a negative, 5x squared, the 4x becomes a negative, and then the negative 7 becomes a positive. Once I do that, then I come over here, and I'm just to the right, and I'm just going to combine like terms. So I'm going to go 3 minus 1, 2x cubed. Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6x squared. 0 minus 4 is negative 4x. 8 and 7 is 15, and we're done. I do think, though, in some cases, if you're feeling like pretty confident that you understand that distributing negative piece, you could change, you could take a pen, like change your, like a pencil to a different color, or a colored pencil or something. And then watch what I'm going to do. Instead of having to do the rewrite where you have to spend the time rewriting the whole thing, there's that negative, right? I could distribute that like this. So I'm going to put a minus up here, a minus up here, a minus up here. And then for my notes, I would do like a sideways plus. So, and there's a sideways plus. So then I know that when I look back at my notes, right, then I'm like, oh, yeah. I made that negative is now a positive, right? So it's kind of a sideways slash, it's kind of like a sideways plus. And then you're just going to do combine like terms in that respect as well. Okay, so, and again, it's the same answer. It's up to you. Let's do it this way. Let me show it to you this way. So here, I've got 3x cubed plus 8x. And it looks like, well, actually, let me do horizontal. Yeah, these are all horizontal. We'll do a vertical one with that one, maybe. I think that one's horizontal too. So I'm not going to show you any more verticals. That was the only one. But I think I'll show it to you again when we code a class. I'll make sure you make a note of it, because I want to show you that little sideways just so you can understand that. You don't have to do it though if you don't want to. The rest of these, it kind of does make sense to do a horizontal, because if you notice here, you're distributing. So it's kind of like you almost want to rewrite it going like right across so that you make sure you distribute everything. So I got 3x cubed plus 8x minus 2x cubed, and then a negative 2 and a 12 make it negative 24, right? And then it says leave your answer in standard polynomial form and state the degree. So we've got the remember standard form is where you do the highest exponent down. So I've got 3x cubed, negative 2x cubed is x cubed, and then a plus 8x, and then a minus 24. And then the degree is the highest exponent, which is 3. Okay. All right, 5. Again, I'm going to let you try this one. Take a minute. Take a minute. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here. You try it, and then I'm going to pop it on the board. So you should have distributed the 6 plus 6p minus 14, distributed that negative p minus 2, and then looked for the common, the like terms. So I got a 3p, a 6p is a 9p, minus that is an 8p. Cross them out because I used them. And then I've got, I'm going to do it in a weird order because I like the negatives first. Negative 14 and negative 2 is negative 16, plus 1 is negative 15. And there is your answer. And what is the degree for this one? The degree for this one is, that has a power of 1, is 1. So if the highest exponent is just that variable with no, like it doesn't look like there's an exponent, the exponent's always 1. Okay, last one. Example 6. As shown in the diagram below, two sides of a triangle can be represented by 3x minus 5 and 6x plus 2. If the perimeter of the triangle is 12x minus 7, determine an expression for the third side. Explain how you arrived at your answer. So perimeter is where you add all three sides, right? So P in this case is 12x minus 7. So I'm really missing this side here. That's what they're looking for. Determine the expression for the third side. So wouldn't you you would add this side, and then this unknown to be the 12x minus 7. So couldn't you go backwards using subtraction to find the unknown side? So I would start with the perimeter, right? And I would minus the other two sides. Okay, so I would probably, what I would do inside the parentheses is I would combine the other two sides first, right? And then subtract them from 12x minus 7. So I'm going to do my order of operations. I'm going to do inside the parentheses first, and I'm going to add like terms, right? So I got 9x minus 3. And then I'm going to distribute the negative, because that's what we do, and so that we don't mess it up, like so, right? So the 9x becomes a negative, the negative 3 becomes a positive, and then combine like terms. So I got 12x minus 9x is, Mrs. Reese almost wrote it wrong. Let's try a 3x, almost said 2x. And then negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. So my third side is 3x minus 4. Now, how I could check that, remember, is just add all three sides, and it should be 12x minus 7. So 3x plus 6x is 9x, plus the other 3x down here is 12x. Negative 5 and positive 2 is negative 3, and negative 4 is negative 7. Look at that. It works. So explain how you arrived at your answer. So we would say we subtracted the two sides given from the perimeter to find the third side. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Hopefully that wasn't too hard for you. It's review, should be review. Some fun algebra review. Do that homework. Let me see, where are we? You are going to have a mixed review the next day. Like, so this is the homework for today, and then you're gonna do, and then the mixed review and a checkpoint will pop up online at some point today. And then you will see lesson 3 on Friday, Wednesday for the other group. Okay? All right, so I will talk to you soon. Take care. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. All right, bye.